Newfoundland has a well-deserved reputation for being friendly and fun-loving. I especially love the outgoing nature of the people we met, always eager to help and share their love for the rock. Our last 3 nights on the island were unfettered by plans or objectives, except to make the most of what we could discover. John's fighting the mosquitoes. The mosquitoes are so bad, I didn't even step foot out to see what the campsite looks like. But for a private campground, this has spacing more like a public. We're filling the tanks because we found that this campground has really good clear water. And the owner was really nice. His father was a professional hockey player, played for the, what's it called? San Diego Gulls. And so he spent a couple years of his childhood living in San Diego. First stop this morning, Sobeys, the grocery store, and then there's a Canadian Tire. We need to get a couple things there. They do. It's like a Home Depot, I guess, is what I'm told. It's not. They do more than tires. And then we're gonna go off and do some hikes. But we'll do the hikes with the aid of lots of mosquito repellent. Man, they've got some nasty skeeters here. In fact, we have found the mosquitoes here to be much worse than in Alaska, where we took a lot more mosquito gear. And we're wimps when it comes to skeeters. Yep. Yeah, you can go forward if you want. It's like a mixture of Target and tires. They got a lot of stuff in here. Wow, need a teapot? They got it. Man, there must be a lot of bacon going on up here. An interesting mixture of stuff. Okay, what are we looking for? Oh, some gloves and some sticky stuff. Here's a verdict. I like this store. It's really well stocked, and the people here know exactly where everything is. Toys. Lots and lots of toys. Must be money in toys. That's how you get the kids to come. Oh, they sell Gardena stuff. Bikes. Water bottles. Where's the camping stuff? Maybe I could get some cycling gloves here. Hey, you got pucks. This is a serious section of mosquito repellent. All the mosquito stuff they have. Insect killer lantern. Wow.
500 volts. Kills on contact.
500 volts.
But you recharge it on solar.
And guys are gonna give it a try. When they get in the van, they're gonna get zapped. John found one of these somewhere we were camping, and we really like it, so they have a package we're gonna get. Maybe that should be our next toilet. That's where you go if some emergency happens, I guess. Oh, got one snap, but I didn't fry him. I think I stunned him.
So they're big enough to be stunned.
Well, I saw one spark.
Wanna? We go get him.
River, what is this? This is called a Gorge Park Trail. A float plane flew over a few minutes ago, and this little girl said, "Look, Mommy, a plane!" I mean, how innocent is that? That's how little traffic they get here. Lots of salmon fishermen here, and they can keep 2, I guess, a day. And so they do a lot of catch and release. The season starts June 1st and goes through September something or other. I can hear the falls. That's nice. The Exploits River is the largest and longest river on the island of Newfoundland. By the 1980s, The salmon population was dwindling due to hydroelectric plants and dams. But thanks to a group of volunteers working with business and government, they were able to get support to construct salmon ladders, increase smolt production, and restore habitat, thus returning the Atlantic salmon numbers to a healthy population.
We'll let you guys enjoy the view.
Is that a zip line?
Yeah, that's new. They're just installing the last 2 years.
So when does it open?
We're not sure. Not sure.
That would have been cool. I know, I would have done it. I guess we'll have to come back, John, and do the zip line.
Hello.
When does it open?
Hell, you want to go?
I do. Do you have to go down that one and then you come back this one?
Starts up there back in old age home.
Oh, there's more up there.
Yeah. You start on this side and you end up right down the last one over.
Wow. Got to open it now, though.
Yeah. You got to come back in about 3 weeks.
It's a long drive from California.
Well, you got to just stay a bit longer.
I wish we could. Okay, well, speed it up. Let's get going. So how many times does this thing cross the river?
Well, this is phase one.
Phase one.
Okay, so phase one is 6 lines.
Okay.
Okay, and then phase two is coming, and phase three. We're putting eventually from up around that turn where the mill bridge starts to the east of the bridge, or would be the left side of the bridge, there'll be 10 lines. But next year there'll be 8. Like there's 6 this year.
Uh-huh.
Next year there'll be 8, and possibly we'll see how 8 goes, and possibly the year
And
after.
we still haven't figured out what yes by means.
Yes, boy.
Yeah. And everybody
That
we
pretty
ask,
much means yes.
everybody we ask laughs when we ask, what does yes by mean? And we ask them, we'll explain it, and nobody can explain it.
No, that's pretty much what it means though, is yes, but yes, boy. In the Salmon Interpretation Center?
No.
Oh, okay.
We got to go there?
Oh, 100%.
Okay, where is it?
Okay, so you see this building, the top of this brown, see that
Oh, yeah,
building?
uh-huh.
Okay, well, you follow the pavement all the way around, you come to a restaurant and an interpretation center. You'll be able to see salmon in the river through a glass.
Oh, cool. Oh, we're there.
Yeah.
We are there.
So you should go see that.
That's
nice,
thank you so much.
Yeah.
Take a risk and talk to strangers because they tell you all kinds of good stuff. And now we're headed to the salmon experience. What did they call it?
Salmon experience.
Salmon experience.
Who told you this?
Chad. And his sister, no, his niece, has just moved to Venice Beach, of all places.
Hi,
So-
Felicity.
Wow, tons of fishermen down here. Tons. Salmonid Interpretation Center. Oh, there's the falls. Yeah. Guy that sold us the tickets, he knows Chad. He said, you know everybody. It's such a small place. Ooh, look at that view. Wow. So the salmon are peaking right now, which is another really good reason to be here. Atlantic and Pacific salmon may belong to the same family of fish, and they may look the same while in the ocean, but they're 2 distinct species with different numbers of chromosomes. They undergo distinct physiological changes when they enter freshwater, but unlike the Pacific salmon, not all Atlantic salmon die after spawning. Oh yeah, there they are. Ah, cool. Wow.
Swim harder, dude. Swim harder.
What was it?
Well. Oh my gosh, that must have hurt. Did you see that? Oh, there's one. There's one.
I could have watched the salmon run for hours, but the clock was ticking and we had a museum to check out in Gander.
Another one bites the dust.
Best ice cream in Grand Falls, Windsor. They came up with this spot.
It's for you, John.
There's mint chip. Oh my gosh, look at that. That's where we're going. If you can't quite remember why the name Gander is vaguely familiar, let me jog your memory. Yes, it played a critical role in ferrying aircraft from North America to Britain during World War II. And then, as passenger flights grew after the war, it provided a refueling stop along the Great Circle Route, the shortest distance between New York and London. But on September 11, 2001, the town of less than 10,000 people hosted more than 6,600 passengers and crew when all of North America's airspace was closed and flights were ordered to land due to the attacks of 9/11. The museum has a thoughtful display paying homage to the generosity and big-hearted hospitality of the people of Gander. This book is filled with letters of thanks for what the people did. Wow. There is also a fascinating account of the rescue of 17 survivors of the Sabina Douglas DC-4 aircraft that crashed in a wooded bog on September 4th, 1946, killing 27 people. Emergency aid had to be parachuted to the survivors before rescuers could even get there. At the time, helicopters had just begun operating, and the nearest ones were in Brooklyn, New York. In the next 48 hours, the U.S. Coast Guard disassembled the helicopters, loaded them onto aircraft, and then reassembled and tested them in Gander. Platforms also had to be constructed for the helicopters to land and retrieve those survivors who could not be removed via rafts to float planes from a nearby uncharted lake. In the description box below this video, I will include a link to a documentary about the rescue.
Mounted on the monument itself, but in the back.
The internet is out all over Canada for the last several days. But here's the good news. Diesel prices come down significantly. It's $1.98 a liter now. We had a good night's sleep at the North Atlantic Aviation Museum. And we're getting an early start to head back west to catch the ferry on Monday. Today is Saturday. It's hard to keep track of time out here. Today is our last full day on the Rock, as they call it in Newfoundland. And tomorrow we catch the ferry back to the mainland. So this morning I'm just going to make some, we picked up the, Sobeys makes really good raisin bread. So we picked up a loaf of their raisin bread and I'm going to make some French toast. And I do it in this little thing that I've been testing now for the last 2 months. That was a great campsite. It's called Kinsman Prince Edward Island Campground, something like that. They had 30 megabits per second download speed, so we were actually even able to stream video and then download a bunch of stuff for later because we have a YouTube Premium account. And anyway, oh, and also, yeah, good showers, a dumping station, all of that, $37, $38 somewhere in there. And laundry. We're ready. But now we're going to go to see the Captain James Cook statue in Corner Brook.
Corner Brook is the 5th largest city in Newfoundland with a population of nearly 20,000.
It's a freaking eagle, John.
Freaking eagle, man.
The area was surveyed by Captain James Cook in 1767. Cook had a talent for surveying and cartography and spent 5 seasons in Newfoundland producing the first large-scale and accurate maps of the island's coasts. Maps that were used for nearly 200 years. A memorial to Cook stands on Crow Hill overlooking the city.
Sailed in the Pembroke in February 1758. I don't know much about Captain Cook, but I know he had 6 sons, and none of them lived long enough to produce any offspring. So there are no direct descendants of Captain James Cook. But what a view from the top of this hill. That's a paper mill, by the way, down there. You can see the ski area across the way. That was definitely worth a stop. And if you have a camper van or something like that that's small and agile, then you can make it up here. But it is very steep. And I think you could get away with spending the night here. It says that there are surveillance cameras, but we noticed them. They were all around the statue area, not in this parking lot. And there's no signs that say you can't spend the night. In fact, we haven't seen any of those on the island, have we?
None.
I can't remember ever seeing a spot where it says no overnight parking. So here we go. Down to Tim Hortons to get some coffee. Everybody goes to Tim Hortons. They prefer the drive-through. These guys are smart. They're all in the racing position. But this guy couldn't find a place to park, so he just parked in the road. That's the way it's done on the Rock.
Stephenville was once home to Ernest Harman Air Force Base, which was operated by the U.S. Army Air Forces from 1941 to 1966. Newfoundland was vital to the defense of Canada and the U.S. during World War II. But it wouldn't become part of the Canadian Confederation until 1949. Since Britain's resources were stretched then, they authorized Canadian forces to defend Newfoundland's air bases. They also struck a deal with the U.S. to build 3 bases.
You have arrived.
Oh, Mark here.
I guess, yeah. We took a detour and stopped at Stephenville, and there's supposed to be some fossilized trees here, so we're going to go take a look. Okay. This way. This is funny, but you can see I'm wearing a a shirt, and then a long sleeve shirt, and then a jacket that's lined, and a hat and long pants. And here's a local. Sears?
Side by side we sway there in all the colors.
Wood everywhere.
Some love. Lonesome love. Folded on the lawn chair in all the colors. Some love.
Oh man, those are heavy.
We were getting nowhere fast. When the garden won't stop giving back.
Look how brown the water is from the peat. That's interesting.
I could really use some stuff like that.
I think I just found a piece. Right there. Let's get it wet and see what it looks like.
Okay, now we can see a black log. Let me see if I can zoom in. There it is. Right there. Lots of pretty rocks here.
What's that?
Memory washed in every shade of green. All the colors. Some love. Remember the lazy river day canoe.
The lady that lives here says that this is an invasive plant brought here by the American service people during World War II. And it grows really well here, but it's invasive and it doesn't handle the winds. There you go. And it's everywhere.
In 400 feet. And nothing improved.
So is this Stephenville crossing? Wow. We just stopped at Foodland to pick up a salad for tonight, and it was $8.29. Comes from Salinas, California. Well, no wonder it's so expensive. I just checked Overlander for some places to stay overnight in this little town, and came up with this one, and wow, what a view.
Could use some too.
U.S. Coast Guard came here to set up a top secret radio receiver and transmitter. Manned by over 50 U.S. Coast Guard. Till 1945. Interesting.
It seemed that everywhere we went, there were reminders of the strategic importance that Newfoundland and Labrador played during World War II. And then I remembered my father telling me that he saw Spotted Island Labrador one more time. It was in October of 1941. He was on board the USS Marcab, a cargo ship carrying supplies for delivery to American troops stationed in Greenland. 2 months later, Pearl Harbor was bombed, and his ship was diverted to Mobile Bay, Alabama, to be converted to a destroyer tender. It was there that he met my mother.
There's a fox. Before we leave Newfoundland, I have to share with you the rest of the story. Back in about 2012, I was going through old photos with my father
one of the stack of photos I came across was this stack from his time on Spotted Island. And one photograph in particular really moved me, which was the one of his students with the names of all of them written on the back. And so I got to thinking, I wonder if I can find any of the descendants of any of these people. And so I went online and I was able to make contact with a few of them, and we corresponded for quite a while. And then I wanted to be able to share the photos with them. So I made this book for my father primarily, but then I realized I needed to share it with the people that I had connected with in Labrador. And so I did that, and we had nice correspondence, and including my father. And anyway, I put together the book and his story along with the postscript about making the connection with these people. And that was so satisfying to me. And I so wanted to get up to Newfoundland and Labrador so that I could kind of connect all the dots. But then when we got back from our trip, I started going through more papers because I wanted to see if I could find anything else. And I came across a letter that was written to my mother before my parents were married. And it was written by Louis A. Hall, the same woman that sponsored my dad to spend the summer on Spotted Island. I will forever cherish our time in Newfoundland, its delightful people, and the opportunity it gave me to build my bridge across time.